Hello and welcome back to the Liverpool Groove. 3 wins on the spin in the league, going well now. Like the end of the season that we want to have. Tough running still, as we know. I think, is it 4 games? Last 4 games are tough. Starting with the weekend, which we'll go into in a little bit. But thought it was a all right performance. Done what we needed to do. Wasn't anything special. I think the goals that we scored were in themselves. They were quite really well taken. Isak's got a bit fortunate. As I say, we'll go into detail with them all properly in a minute. But Isak got a little fortunate with the finish itself, but the touch that he had before it was just out of this world. Magnificent. Robbo with a striker's finish. And then Verts putting the cherry on top at the end with a great little half volley. Yeah, it was exactly the performance we needed. We didn't look in danger until the incident with Woodman going down and them scoring from that. I didn't think they looked like they were going to score, even though Woodman did have a few saves to make. Obviously, we'll talk about Woodman as well because he was a star of the show in many respects. But yeah, as I say, it's exactly what we needed to do. 3 points on the board, going joint third with United and Villa. It's going to be a chaotic end of the season, but wouldn't be us if it wasn't, would it?
No, you're right. I thought, yeah, it was had a little bit of a party feel to it in the ground. The atmosphere was decent. We were getting behind the players. We were there. We were there for them. I think the moment with like Woodman and that, we fully got behind him. The you got Isak getting his first goal at Anfield. Everyone's buzzing for him. You've got Robbo being Robbo, and everyone it just picked everyone up. Everyone something lifted off us a little bit. It felt. We went into party mode. It felt a little bit easy, a little bit comfortable in spells. And yeah, the keeper made a few great saves from like moments, but they were never really attacking us. They didn't seem like wanted to play the game. To be fair, it just was dead easy for us. We were stroking it around, messing around a little bit with it, and yeah, it was a nice game to go to. Thought all in all, the day itself, boss little day. Seeing the reaction to the protest, which was great, which I'm sure we'll go into. And yeah, all in all, great day. A few magic moments, little fairy tale for Woodman, and yeah, a good day at the office. And we're looking like a bit more of a team now. Look like we've got a bit more control, a bit more composure. We don't look to be panicking as much. And it was good to see us concede and then just pick back up. And when it went to 2-1, I was a bit shocked with what the manager was doing because he took all our attackers off and we were just lumping the ball into their half with no one chasing it for a 5 minute spell. And then we got ourselves sorted and we went for them again. But yeah, good game, lad. Good game. I was happy.
Hmm, definitely. I just want to, but again, going to go into Woodman properly in a minute, but there was a bit of talk online about Slot's comments about Woodman before the game and saying he hopes the crowd gets behind him and things like that, which I don't think was ever in doubt. We were never ever going to not back him. He's come into the side in a difficult moment. Obviously, Mamadashvili out for probably only that game, I imagine, but he's come in a difficult moment. There was never any doubt that the crowd were going to get behind him. But do you think that's another one of those moments where Slot's words have sort of been misinterpreted and it's sort of been made out to be worse than what he's meant to say, kind of thing?
Well, to be fair, what he said is he said. So it can't be spun that he hasn't said it or it's being twisted. But I don't think he means it how it comes across. If
Hmm.
that's what you mean. I don't think he means to put players down the way he does and make them seem a little bit silly. Um, I just I just wish he wouldn't speak. Every time he speaks, lad, it's something stupid coming out of his mouth, and I don't think he means it. It's one of them. I don't think for any reason why he'd make out that he's shite basically,
Hmm.
and you need to get behind him for that reason. But yeah, I think he just needs to just pipe up a little bit, pipe down. Sorry, and stop piping up because every time he speaks, he's upsetting someone, or it's getting spun so he's meant to have been abusive or nasty or whatever. Um, yeah, just no need to mention it.
Hmm.
We didn't need talent to back the third choice keeper. We don't want to put any fucking pressure on him where he's going to cost us a game, So we're going to get right behind him. And to be fair, up until he was a hero in the game and he made great saves and he was brilliant in every aspect of his game, then we got behind him. He gave us something to get behind. And yeah, we were fully there for him, like, and to say the moment at the end with him, this was brilliant.
Yeah, no, I think, like you say, he gave everyone something to actually get behind. He showed that he was up to the task. And I think I had maybe one or two doubts about him in that game just because Palace had come to Anfield earlier in the season in the League Cup and he didn't look great in that game. But then we put a second third string out, if you like. So it's a bit more understandable in that game. I think there was a moment early on before we scored where they've crossed it in, he's come out for it and missed it completely and they've headed over the bar, which didn't help with me nerves about it at the time. But you look at that save before we scored the second one and like it was close to him, fair, but like he had no time to react to it whatsoever. And the way he's got down to it is, if it was Alisson, we'd be talking about it for weeks and weeks, and rightly so, and we should do because it's Freddie Woodman as well.
Yeah, brilliant save, lad. And again, it's when he saved it, obviously it's nowhere near the same in terms of how big a deal it is, but it's like when Alisson saved it against Napoli and we win the game, we go on to become the champions. That save, we then go down and we score, and then he makes another save and we go down and score, and you're just like, they're key moments in the season then, because we needed to be Palace to get in the Champions League. We now look pretty comfortable in that point, in that sense, because the teams below us are shite. But yeah, massive moments. And if it was Alisson, it'd go down on Alisson's banner when he leaves. One of them saves. You'll have your Napoli, you'll have your West Brom goal, and you'll have saves like that keep you in games and keep your season going. So yeah, credit to him. He was fucking brilliant, and the saves were top class.
Yeah, they were, and obviously he's come in this season not expecting to play at all. Most likely, I think you look at the League Cup game where he did play. It would have been Mamardashvili if Alisson was fit. So he's got probably what he expected to be his only performance of the season there, and then obviously the way it's transpired, it means he got his game against his boyhood club as well, like, which is a nice moment in that sense for him. He's a boyhood Crystal Palace fan, and he's gone and put in a man of the match performance against them on his full Premier League debut for Liverpool. So it couldn't have gone any better in any capacity for him, I don't think. Going on to the goals themselves, Isak again took it well enough. The way he's controlled that shot from McAllister is just incredible. Like, it's been hit as hard as he could, and he's just killed it dead. And the finish was scuffed a bit, but I said the other night, like, I think if he'd connected with it cleanly, I think the keeper has a better chance of saving it, because he scuffed it. The keeper's had absolutely no chance the way it's bounced, but made up for him. It's exactly what he needed. I thought he was a bit anonymous in the game up until that point, but I thought the goal sparked him. I thought he looked more lively. He looked more energetic after it, and hopefully he can kickstart. Well, say kickstart, but he can end the season on a high now, and keep progressing and end the season on a bit of a high to push on to next season.
Yeah, hopefully that. I totally agree with you. I said to the lad next to me, I just don't see the point in him starting games, because he doesn't really press. He doesn't really do anything other than he's a box striker. He's going to be the fox in the box, and that's where the goal comes from. But it is moments like that where you go, well, if he's not on the pitch there, is there anyone else doing that? Who's that level to be able to do that? And I think the answer is no. So we used to say the same with like Torres, and that when Torres was a little bit anonymous, you couldn't take him off, because a fit Torres is going to score you a goal at some point in the game. And I think hopefully we can get that from Isak. I think he does. We don't shoot his style. I think in hindsight, if he knew how we were going to play, and the players that were going to be his system were going to drop off a cliff, I don't think he'd have come, because he is wasted. He's just there at the minute to make the numbers up, because Ekitike's not there. But hopefully that goal does bring him the confidence that he starts finding a bit of form, starts firing a few goals in, and we can get a full pre-season out of him and get the best out of him, because he's obviously a world-class striker, absolutely insane talent in front of goal. There's only one or two like him. We've just got to start playing to him and utilising the other players and making them play in the system that suits the striker, because that's what it's all about, essentially. You score all your goals through your best striker, so we need to change our system so it counts for him.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's the one player this season, obviously with his injury record and stuff as well, but I think he's the one who gets a little bit of leeway with the criticism this season, because I think a lot of his performances where it has been underwhelming hasn't been his fault, because he's just not involved in the game. And when he's trying to get involved in the game, we're not looking for him, we're not passing it to him, we're not crossing it in for him or anything. We're just, as you said, we're not playing to his strengths whatsoever, and we haven't been since he come in. But that was just a glimpse of what everybody knows he's capable of. So yeah, I'm made up for him, made up with the finish. Robbo, the second goal, again, we mentioned it there. Woodman with the save right out. It was a Klopp goal, just save up the other end of the pitch, goal. It was perfect. Yeah, Tort Jones had a really good game. He's been getting quite a bit of praise online, from that game. We both said it after the derby. Don't think the praise was as warranted for that game. I don't think he had a very good game in the derby personally, and I know you were the same. But I thought against Palace, I thought he was great, done really well, holding the ball off, carrying it forward, putting Robbo through. And as I said before, it was a striker's finish from Robbo, possibly his last for the club.
Yeah, do you know what? When Robbo was running through, I seen Jota in my head. The way he's like anticipating the pass, and he's looking behind him and he's running, and it just pictured Jota, and I don't know why. I seen the number 2, obviously for 20, and I thought it just reminded me of Jota. And when he scored, I was like, fucking hell, that's just proper took me back. That it's just full on Jota, but it obviously weren't. Absolute brilliant goal, brilliant move from the team. Was a Virtue got the ball to Jones instantly.
Yeah.
So even that little movement where it's not holding on to for too long, it's just get us up the fucking pitch and get a goal. Robbo making the run from the halfway line, and yeah, it's just a brilliant Liverpool goal. They're the type of goals you want to see our team scoring, and they're the type of moves you want to see our manager influencing and telling them to do more of. So yeah, all in all, great moments. Giving Robbo that moment, it was like, just wish it was at the Cop end. But yeah, fucking hell, you can't pick and choose where he scores, like, you know what I mean? But to finish it like that, to have that moment with the fans, and to hopefully, I hope he gets another one, obviously. But I'm glad he's getting played. I'm glad he's going to get a send off, and he deserves it. And I'll be honest, I think we're absolutely nuts to have not offered him a contract. I think it's insane that we're letting a player like Robbo go for fuck all. When he still offers so much, you're not going to get a backup left back anywhere near him. Nowhere near him in terms of level. He starts for most Premier League teams. He's obviously, he can't start every game because of the age he's at, but when he's on it, mate, he's on it, and I think he's had a good season. So that will be fucking. I've said for ages, like, out of all the Klopp's players, I think he's the one I'll miss the most. He was the one that brought the fans to the players, and he felt like he was one of us. Felt like we had a fan on the pitch playing for Liverpool, because he was just looked like a working class lad, grafted his ass off, never fucking took himself too seriously, and he just seemed to be Liverpool through and through from the off. And yeah, he'd be a player that I don't think you don't replace, especially with modern footy. Someone who's going to give everything for the team, and I think we're lucky in the sense that his replacement is someone who is a little bit similar in Kirkhead, who's a little bit wild, a little bit of one of the lads, and he'll risk getting hurt or hurting someone for the shirt. But I just don't think there'll never be another Robbo, and it's sad.
No, there certainly won't. I seen a quote, and I don't know how true it is. I'm sure someone will tell me that it's bullshit. But I seen a quote about it saying, is it wise to let Robbo go, basically? And apparently the answer Slot gave was, well, nothing's actually officially decided kind of thing. So it's like, don't give me hope like that. Don't tease me. It's again probably bullshit, but I don't know.
If you're Arnie Slot, surely you're going to the hierarchy going, listen, he's one of me soldiers. He's one of my main men. He's my fucking vice captain. He's a leader. He's massive influence in the dressing room. Go and sort him out. Go and give him a fucking thank you contract. And I know people are saying about Salah and that. Robbo's not going to be after fucking 400 grand a week like Salah was, but for what Salah's done for our football club, he deserved that big payout. And I think the same with Alisson, I think the same with Van Dijk. The players who've given everything to us for so long, they don't get testimonials anymore. And I know they're on massive money already, but that is a little backhander off the club. Here's a 2-year contract, even though we know you're probably only going to fucking last a year. Here's a little something off us as a thank you. And I think they should have done the same for Robbo. They should have matched Robbo's wages, give him a 12-month contract and said, listen, at the end of that 12 months, you go and do what you want, lad. Go and get your payday somewhere else, and it's fine. But I don't think we're ready to lose a player like that yet. I don't think the squad can cope with losing another leader. And there's talks of Alisson might be off as well. And there's a few flutters around Van Dijk. So if you lose that core of that team, we've seen it before when we lost like Henderson and Fabinho and that, and Milner, all in similar areas. You're like, fuck. You just aren't the same. You haven't got that character anymore, and we need to keep as many of the characters as we can.
Yeah, I agree. There's, like you said, he's a difficult player to replace. Are we going to just go and? I think my worry is that we are going to try and stick with Kerkez and Tsimikas next season, which we've said it before. Tsimikas, he seems like a good lad. He seems like a top lad to have around the squad, and all the players seem to get on with him, and he seems well liked. But I just don't think he's not the level we would at anymore in that sense as a backup. Like, I think he's all right to come in for 5 or 10 games a season, but if you're going to rotate as heavily as we have been with Robbo and Kerkez this season, then you need somebody the same level as Robbo and Kerkez. Not to say that Kerkez is sort of the Robbo level just yet. I think he will get there. I think he's going to be fantastic for us. I think he has been for the most part this season, but I think you need 2 players of a similar level if you're going to rotate as much as we are.
Yeah, totally right, lad, and that's what frustrated us when we were under Klopp. We had a brilliant 11, but when you're playing up against Man City, and Man City can swap like for like, bring a left winger on for a left winger who's the same talent, same with a striker, same with a midfielder. We've never been able to do it. Never had the luxury of doing it. And we get an injury in our squad, we're a bit fucked instantly. It would be the same if Kerkez got injured and you're having to play Tsimikas 15 games. You're not getting that output of a player that you need to play for Liverpool. And yeah, he's a nice lad and he's a decent player. Very, very good player. Probably from fucking say 6th to 14th in our league, he'd probably start. Or 6th to bottom if you want it. But he's not Liverpool's level. He would shoot someone like Tottenham. He's not Liverpool's level. So we have to go out and I think I said it the other week, we probably need another left back if Robbo goes. We need another centre half. We need another right back because Conor Bradley's always injured and Frimpong is injured all the time. I think we need to keep Gomez because even though if he's available, he can fit in 3 places. So he's just your luxury player if he's there. We need a centre mid. We need a left and right winger. And if Ekitike's out for as long as they're saying, then you need a striker as well. So we have got a busy summer, or we're going into the season very light, and it's going to just be the same because whatever we're doing in training, we're getting injuries. So we've got to sort it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't think it's just a problem that's hurting us. It's affecting everybody. There's far too much football for the players these days. They can't keep up with it. And I know they're elite athletes and stuff like that, but the tempo and the level that they're playing at to do it 50, 60, maybe more times a season when you include internationals, it's a lot on the bodies. And you look at someone like Tottenham, I know they're terrible, but they've had 3 ACLs this season. Like that isn't normal. And we've been a victim of it ourselves, not to the extent with ACLs, but obviously we've had Leone, we've had I mean, Alisson gets injured every season, but I think even this season, he's had at least sort of 2 big spells out. You've got obviously Ekitike, you've had Isak, you've had Frimpong's injury worries that you mentioned. Like, everybody's getting these big injuries all the time, and it's going to be detrimental to the careers. Like, how many people have been saying with Ekitike's injured, like he's never going to play at the same level again. Like, it's a scary thought. Like, it's worrying in that sense.
Yeah, it is. It's one of them situations where, like, why can't they look at it, do the maths on it, and go? There's been so many injuries this season. It's fucking probably double it's ever been. We need to do something about it. We need to protect the players a little bit. And it's hard. I've read a thing about, like, Ekitike's injury because we're not running and we're not sprinting enough, because we're not training enough, because we're in recovery mode, because we play fucking 3 times a week. We're not able to train and condition them to play in them moments. And when you are sprinting, when you're not used to doing it, it's killing them. So players aren't conditioned as athletes to do what they're meant to be doing, because they're not training enough to do it. They're having a little game of basketball and jumping over fucking hurdles and stuff. They're not able to train properly because they're playing too much. Should be training 5 times a week, having a game and having a day off, but they're not. They're training. They're having a recovery day after a match. Then a light training, then a training, then a match. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, no.
And you can got people going, oh, they're on all that money and all that. Well, they have a short career. Most of them are finished at 35. And they don't work, do you know what I mean? They're not going to go and be fucking electricians and plumbers after that, are they? They've earned all that job. But that money's got to last them the rest of their life. So they have got to look after themselves, because what you do after it. I'm not crying on the behalf, obviously, fucking hell, the ridiculous money. But yeah, it's fucking, if you want to last another 5 years in a slower league, but you can't because your knees and your fucking legs are fucked. You're fucked, so they've got to look after themselves. And I think the footy authorities need to look into it, because it's killing football. You're having superstars getting injured before they've even, Ekitike's potentially a future fucking superstar, and he mightn't play again. You know what I mean? I don't think he'll ever recover the way we'd want him to. But you try and get age on his side, and you go, see how you go. But I wouldn't have much expectation on him to be sprinting and that all over the place again.
No, and it'll, like, I know not to the same extent, but you'll know yourself, like, how like hesitant you are after a big injury like that in a big operation. Like, you hesitate to do anything to the same level. You suffered for years with your knee, and I know that for a fact. Like, and it's so, doing it at an elite level where the expectations are sky high on you all the time. You've got the eyes of the world on you, and he's just expected to come back in 12 months after having, I seen that Kimpembe had like 3 different surgeries on his Achilles injury. After all that work and so many days out, like a year and a half out, he's just expected to come back and hit the ground running. Like, it's not going to happen in the slightest.
No, it's got no chance. That's what I mean. It's a tough injury, that. When I done my ACL, obviously going through the NHS is a lot different from what the treatment they get, but I played on for 6 months with mine. I was getting told to put a tuber grip on. It was just a strain, 6 weeks off, and then keep it lifted. I'd go and play footy again. Soon I'd have my alarm set on my phone. 6 weeks to the day, I'd be playing fucking footy, and it'd go again. And that happened for like 6 months. And then I ended up getting told I had a double tear and all my cartilage was ripped. But yeah, as soon as you come out of there, you've got doctors telling you, oh, you do know you're going to have arthritis in your 30s and your 40s now, because we've opened you up there, and you'll have to just show you the app goes, you mightn't play footy again. I'm like, fucking hell, I'm 20. Fucking 20 years old. I'm getting told I mightn't play footy again. So yeah, it must be fucking horrible, especially when it's your income and your wage, and you've been fortunate enough to do something you love that pays well. Because obviously mine could have fucked me in work and that, because I'm on my knees in work as an electrician. Anyway.
I ain't going to say anything.
Fucking hell, yeah, beat you to it. Yeah, but you start thinking, is footy worth doing when it could kill you in work? But it is, obviously, because it's the best thing in the world. So hopefully Eckety gets paid loads and he comes back boss. Forget about me.
I agree. Yeah, we can't, as you'll well know by now with us, after 170 odd episodes or something like that, we do tend to go off on the odd tangent here and there. So let's try and get back on track a bit. Their goal was, I said it at the time, and I was pissed off at the time with the way they scored it, and I still am a little bit, but after sort of sitting on it a little bit and really looking at it, I think they were 2-0 down in the game. They've got an open goal, and the referee hasn't blew his whistle. We've stopped. They've got no, they don't have to stop. They don't have to stop the game in any sense. Would it have been the right thing to do? Would it have been the sportsmanlike thing to do? Of course, it would have been. But these are players. They want to win the match. They've took advantage of an unfortunate situation. Thankfully, obviously, Woodman was able to continue the game, and Glasner has come out and said if it turned out that Woodman wasn't able to continue, then they would have let us score, or they would have scored an own goal themselves. But yeah, it's one of them. If we'd have done it, would it be as human? I think a little part of me probably would, but overall, probably not. Again, I think if it was 1-1, or if it was earlier in the game or something like that, maybe they wouldn't have done the same thing. But yeah, I still think it was a little bit of a rat thing to do, but I can understand why he's obviously done it.
Do you know what? In the heat of the moment, I wanted to run on the pitch and strangle him myself, to be fair. I thought it was an absolute cunt trick. And seeing all the players rallying around the ref and speaking to our players like in support of them scoring. But when I look back on the goal, like there's a key saying in Sunday League footy, and it's play the whistle. You don't stop until the referee's blown his whistle. You fucking carry on. So the first thing they should have done was wait for a whistle before they stopped, but they all stopped. But before that, not one centre-half tries to make it over to the line to protect the goal. Not one of them. They all just stand there. So even if the referee's going to blow his whistle, you still got to go and protect your goal. The keeper then gets up while they've still got the ball in play and then goes back down again. So, yeah, if I'm that player, in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm going to just put that in the net anyway. And if it gets given, it gets given. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm not just fucking wasting the opportunity. I don't think he's gone for goal in the sense, like, he just does it dead blasé, like dead casual. It's not like he's done it effortlessly. So I think he's just put it in. I think he's just done that. I think he's put it in the net, and what will be, will be. And fucking unfortunately for us, they got the goal. But yeah, I think with their manager coming out and saying if he was injured and it was genuine, and I've seen the comments like how many keepers would do that after a big save, just go down, let it just stop it, just kill football. So I totally agree with that. He stayed on the pitch, and with him saying he would have let us score, that's all you can do is go fair play. We don't know if it's true or not because it never happened. But I think it was just a bit of a mix up and a bit of a difference of opinion in what you should do in that situation. But if that's us, you're not telling me the cop's not crying at whoever's got the ball to shoot, because he would have been. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm just mainly sort of disappointed for Woodman because his performance didn't deserve to not get a clean sheet. So it's just unfortunate in that sense. But no, I think we picked ourselves up, dusted ourselves off well after that. As you said before, I think the first 5 or so minutes after they scored, we were a bit sort of shell shocked because of probably the way it happened more than anything. But after that, I thought we dusted ourselves off quite well, and we deserved the third goal in the end. And it was, as I said, great finish from Wirtz. I thought early on, he was a bit anonymous in the game. Didn't think he was really affecting it too much, but as he's done a lot of times this season, I thought he grew into the game, was becoming a more more involved in the game, and I thought he deserved his goal in the end.
He was frustrating a little bit because he was trying to overdo things and he was getting his passes blocked and stuff. But he works his ass off. He doesn't hide. He gets back when he loses the ball and stuff. He tries. But I stand by. I think he's just too clever for the rest of them. I think he tries to do things that are only on his wavelength. And once players start getting on his wavelength, If him and Isak can work up some sort of partnership where they know what each other's going to do, it could be dynamite. But Vert is absolutely class. And I had a father on Isak, first goal, Liverpool 3-1. So I was gutted we conceded. I'd rather lost me bet because I think Woodman deserved a clean sheet. But obviously when it's 2-1 and we took all our strikers off and we're just kicking the ball to 0-1, I'm thinking that I might cash out for fucking 30 quid here or something. And then when Gomez got that ball and I seen Maka backing in, and I just thought, we're going to go for something here. Because I was waiting for him to just throw it backwards towards our fucking goal. That was it, game over. But the move itself, the ball from Gomez into McAllister's feet and the touch to Wirtz and first time shot, it's just absolutely sublime. And you just see it fucking rifle the net, posting in. World class, absolutely world class from all of them involved in it. And yeah, it was good to see him get his goal because he does grow in confidence when he does something. The first half he was like giving the ball away and that, and then he'll beat two men, and it's like someone puts a fucking batty in him, and he just picks up again. He just looks a lot faster, a lot sharper. He releases the ball a lot quicker. And yeah, he started growing into the game, and then what a way to finish it with a fucking goal like that. And I won my bet, so fucking great. Nice one, flow.
Yeah, I think since he's come back from his little injury that he had, and he was out for a few games only with his, I think it was a back injury or something. But
even
I think
6 weeks.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that before, to be fair. But I think since he's come back from that, he hasn't really got up to speed in, because I think before that he was probably our best player for 7 or 8 games and was looking just phenomenal every time he was on the pitch. And then since then, I think we've been waiting for another performance, a bit like, not necessarily like that, but like he's needed something like that goal to again spark him for the last 4 games of the season, get a bit of confidence and finish the season off strong. Because as I say, the running we've got, like it couldn't have been much harder. So we need these players full of confidence and ready to go to make sure we do get that Champions League place, because it is pretty much confirmed at this point. We just need to get over the line and make sure we do it.
We do that. Do you know what? With Verti reminds me, he's like a bit like Thiago. His stats aren't great in terms of the goals he scores and his actual direct assists, but he gets you on the front foot from and puts you in a position where you can score. Do you know what I mean? So he won't get a lot of credit and he won't get the plaudits, but he creates a lot. He creates the pass before the pass, I call it. It is the one that fucking he gets you on the front foot. He gets you into good positions and he can dictate the play with what he's doing himself. And when a player start feeding off him and we start improving, you will see the best of him. All being well, it's fucking soon. But yeah, we need them to all start piping up. I'm looking forward to the season to end. Hopefully, we finish on a high. We win our next 4 games. Was it 3 games?
4.
Was it 4? We win our next 4 games and we're in the Champions League next season. We try and write this season off. We develop some sort of fucking brilliant summer and we go again. I mean, all I want to see is a bit of an identity. And as the games are going by now, you know, we've seen a little bit against PSG that we were going to fight and we were going to try. And then, you know, decisions didn't go our way, whatever. And then they just proved to be a better team than us. Simple as that. Sometimes you've got to roll your hands up and go, they were better than us, but we fucking give it a good go. We tried. And then you go to Everton and you battle like fuck for that game and you play some lovely football and then you do the same with Palace. So there's a little bit of an identity creeping in that we can play fast flowing football and we can hit it on the counter attack and we can defend as a team and fight for each other. So get this pre-season out the way and hopefully we go into the new season with a Liverpool 3.0 and we go and fucking see a new identity with new players and a new system that we can start buying into. That's all we want. Don't think no one wants the manager gone for no reason, but it looks like he's staying. So as I said last time, you know, we're seeing more positives in our game, seeing a bit more style of playing. It is getting a little bit more entertaining. Then you just get behind them and you fucking hope for the best. But it's got to be with Champions League football. Simple as that. And we've got to keep winning games. It is a hard one, but the games that we should be winning.
Yeah, I agree. Before we obviously talk about the protests and things like that, there was one player I just wanted to mention because I think he's had I think everyone will probably agree, I think he's had a poor season, but thought playing in his more natural position on Saturday, thought he looked a lot better and a lot more like the player that we signed a couple of years ago, and that's Alexis McAllister. Thought he was much better on Saturday. Looked energised for one of the only times this season. He's looked lazy and lethargic for a lot of this season, which is unlike him completely. But yeah, I thought that was a bit more like him, a bit more back to his best.
Yeah, he looked good. He did. To be fair, most of them did. It was nice to see them, but like again, he looked his feisty old self. And sometimes getting benched gives you the kick up the arse, and you don't just think you're starting every week. And he might have needed it. He might have just needed the rest as well. So he has played a lot of football. So yeah, he looked in control of that midfield for large spells. And yeah, it was good to see. And you did mention Curtis Jones before, but I thought he was brilliant as well. Thought he was absolutely solid at right back. He battled. He went in for 50-50s. He won duels. That touch on the halfway line, by the way, out of the air, fucking world class. Don't know whether he's meant to, but he looked as elegant as anything. He looked like a ballerina when he done it. Fucking touched it one side, brought it down the other. Just had his little cocky face on, and yeah, fair play. He had a great game. So good to see us. We looked happy playing. We looked happy, and that was what I like to see. And then again, at the end of the game, our fans are singing "Don't worry about a thing." Arnie Slot's come up to the cop, they're singing "Don't worry about a thing," and then Gakpo's come out, Van Dijk, and then Robbo, and we cut our singing out to sing Robbo's song, obviously because it's Robbo, and it was just boss. But yeah, everyone went out smiling.
Freddie Woodman getting serenaded by the cop as well, which richly deserved. He
was crying.
I know, yeah.
He was crying. It was fucking brilliant. But he got about. We were singing England's number one, Aaron, and then he was singing he's England's number one because he can touch the crossbar, which I thought was fucking great. And then Freddie Woodman, and he was it went on for a bit, to be fair. Robbo let him have his moments. They had the moment together because they're obviously quite close, aren't they? And again, we had for the end of that game, we had a connection with them again. We felt that they were us and we were them again, and it was fucking great. So everyone come off the ground buzzing.
Yeah, as we should be. I think you mentioned it, sort of having almost like a party atmosphere, and I think a lot of that was probably down to the fact that we hadn't fucking beat Palace for God knows how long as well. Like it was nice to get one over on them eventually. So I think there was an element of that. I want to talk about obviously the protests though, because I think there's visually looked spectacular with probably 90% of the ground letting the owners know exactly how we feel. The yellow cards was a great display. As I say, visually it looked fantastic. You had I don't know if you've seen him, you had the images of Billy Hogan next to whoever he was sitting next to, sort of laughing about it. So it seemed, whether he was actually laughing at that, I guess we'll never know. But that's how it looked, that's how it come across. So I mean, there's a message to be sent across in that respect. There was obviously videos still going around of people on the concourse, people buying stuff in the ground. There's one video going around of a fella having a go at people buying stuff, Scousers buying stuff in the ground and stuff like that. So it is still something that's dividing opinion. But I know, as I say, I know you were there. That moment when everybody's up and chanting what they're chanting and letting John Henry know exactly how we feel was I think the first step in hopefully getting them to see sense.
Yeah, it's it looked brilliant, the protest, to be fair. And then when I'm stood in the cop and you're seeing every like walking around the ground, everyone you're seeing had a yellow plaque in their hand before they got in. Went to the food bank. hub before it, met up with Jen. She was handing them out, feisty as ever, telling, have them. But there was people just ignoring it and saying no, and she usually like little bit mad. She'd usually like say something, but she wasn't. She was just dead calm, dead polite, and she was just, okay, thanks, have a good day. And there was people are just, I think people just want to go against the grain, and what everyone else is doing, there's people who can't function unless they're going against it. And I think that's the way they get their enjoyment from. Everyone else is fighting one cause, they've got to fight another. To the type of people who like fucking Trump and stuff like that, because everyone else hates him. They're just different wavelength, just to be different. But there was people declining them politely and saying, no, I'm all right, thanks and stuff. I think there was people who didn't know what they were and they thought like people were trying to sell stuff to them and whatever. But I went past the bin and there was about 100 in the bin sticking out. So there was people who were taking them and binning them, people who wasn't interested in supporting it. But all in all, when we got in the ground and you see the ratio of who's put them up and who hasn't, there's well more. There's a majority versus a minority. And the majority are the people who don't want to overpay for match tickets. And I don't know why anyone would want him. Don't know why anyone would have an argument that our club making 1.2 million out of normal people is beneficial to the club, because it's not pocket money. Yeah, then you're seeing people. I didn't even go down in cake because it was fucking roasting, lad. And I thought if I go down and I end up cracking and getting a coke or something, I'd feel a cunt. So I just stayed in my seat. Didn't go for a piss. Stayed in my seat. And that's the problem, is it's a fucking hot summer's day and you're only allowed to take one bottle of water and you're in the match. So you might have people who just need a drink. So I understand to a point, like people getting a little soft drink or something, but people buying pints and fucking scrans and that. If you can't go 90 minutes without a scran, go and see your doctor, because you've got a fucking problem. And if you can't go 90 minutes without a pint, go and see your doctor, because it's fucking, I know it's part of your day. Have your pint before it and have your pint after it. Have your scran before it or after it. If you're absolutely fucking desperate for a drink and you can't hang on for another 45 minutes, then yeah, go and get a water or a coke or something. Go and get the cheapest thing on the menu. But there's so much division. On social media, I feel like the divisions from people who don't go to the game, they just see it as us not wanting our club to earn more money, but they're throwing at us, you want a big summer, you want to buy players. Yet 1.2 million pounds isn't going to buy a player. It's not going to buy anyone.
Barely covers 3 players' wages for a week.
Exactly. So it's like, in the grand scheme of things, 1.2 million pounds off your regular fans isn't going to do anything for you. Like, I don't know why the club can't see that. I don't know why they're trying to squeeze it out of us. I wish they'd just go to the FA and go meet up with all the owners and say, let's cap it like we did the away ones. Let's be the front runners for capping it and making it affordable for everyone. Let's change it back to it being a working class game and making sure regulars and your generational proper supporters are in that ground more often than tourists and day-tippers. And yet when you see Billy Hogan laughing, don't get me wrong, he's talking to someone. I get the impression someone's gone to him, you fucked this, haven't you? And he's, yeah, I have, yeah. But yeah, he looks smug as fuck. He's got a face you could punch, hasn't he, to be fair. And that message has got to be heard. It's only going to get louder. It's only going to get bigger. No one's going to hold a plaque up one week and then not the next week. It's only going to get bigger and louder, and eventually it'll get more aggressive, and the protests will take to the streets, and there'll be other protests to be done. People going on saying, fucking don't go in the ground. If you don't go in the ground, you lose your ticket. You lose credits, you lose the opportunity to go to matches. We're doing this so we can go to the game, not so we lose out. But when people are arguing, it's only £1, it's only £2. It's not. It used to be a £5 to go to the match, and then it used to be a £10, then it used to be 15 quid, then it used to be 20. Now it's fucking nearly 70 quid. Like, they started to do it 10, 15 years ago. If they'd have got their £77 tickets then, imagine what it would have been now if we'd have just accepted it. You're talking 120, aren't you? Talking 120. It's trying to model it like American tickets, and yeah, you go to a baseball game in America or basketball, you're paying 100, 150 quid. because you're going for the experience. There's not really many proper fans or supporters who are fanatics about it, who lose sleep over it. Over there, it's an enjoyment thing. It's a hobby. It's not like that here. We fucking live and breathe this football club. It's our life. It's literally our life. People miss occasions. People miss weddings and the births of the kids and stuff to be at football matches because it means more to people than anything else you could imagine. And it does sound nuts, but that's the reality. So when you're mixing us up with people who don't feel the same, who are happy to overpay because that's the way football's heading, it can't be accepted, and us proper fans won't accept it, and we'll just fight tooth and nail till there's nothing left in us. We'll just do it. We'll just carry on. And we'll carry on. We'll carry on. And if the cop has no flags anymore, that becomes a new normal. Then let's see if these little day tippers and that turn up with their flags and banners, because guarantee they don't. That cop looks absolutely woeful without the Spine Cops flags. And it's also fucking telling that one group of people have all the flags on the cop. That tells you where the fan base is at. Because people used to take their own flags in. There wasn't a group of people who just had flags. You take their flags down and there's none. That tells you something else. Kids aren't taking flags in the match and that anymore. It's fucking it's dying to die and breathe.
Yeah, 100%.
And without us doing what we're doing, would have went up years ago. And if it goes up this time, goes up next year, goes up the year after, eventually it is going to get to £100. It's going to get to 150. The thought of a fucking kid asking for a match ticket for the birthday will cause depression in some households because it's fucking a lot of money. You can't just take, a kid can't go on his own. You've got to pay for 2 tickets. Then you've got to get a programme. You've got to get a fucking pie and a little soft drink. You're talking 200 quid, 250 quid before you're even fucking seeing a game of footy. So
yeah,
that's the reality of it. There was pictures there of loads of little kids with the yellow cards, and that's what we're doing it for. We're doing it for the new generation of Liverpool fans. We want to keep the Kop and Anfield as local as we can and as filled with proper fans for as long as we can. And when them kids get outpriced, that's your lifeblood gone at Anfield, and that's your uniqueness of Liverpool Football Club gone with it. So we need to keep it, and we'll do everything we can to do it.
Yeah, and everyone goes, oh, the club want to earn more money, this, that, and the other. And 1.2 million is all they'll get from the raising the prices. They get 1.8 million for a Champions League win in the group stage. So, like, it's fucking pointless. There's no real cause to create this divide for the sake of 1.2 million. It's like you said before, it's absolute fucking pocket change to them. It makes no difference to a club the size of Liverpool. So it's stupid, and hopefully they do see the error of the ways, and they do, they do turn it around, and it's not even just us. It's happening with the blue shite as well. They're having the exact same scenario as us. Their ticket prices are getting put up. Their ticket prices seem to have been fucking skyrocketed, to be fair. But yeah, it's not just, this isn't just a one club thing, and I think people are missing that point about it as well. It's not just a us thing. It's for everyone. Nobody wants to be going and paying Arsenal prices at every single game. You don't want to be, playing fucking, with all due respect, but you don't want to be playing Coventry at home and paying 150 quid, because that's what it'll get. Like you said, that's what it'll get to in a few years. As soon as we let one price rise creep in, they'll just go, sound, yeah, we'll just keep doing it. Then it's it's a case of how long's a piece of string with it, isn't it? Like, they will just keep doing it as soon as you let them do it once.
It'll just go on and on and on. I say it's 3% this time, so it's only £1 or 150, and then it's 3% again, then it's 5%, and then it's matching with inflation, and then there's no rule, there's no oh, we'll put it up 3% and then we'll stop and we'll freeze it for 10 years. That could be accepted. It's the fact that there's an unknown of where it's going to stop, or if it's ever going to stop. It's going to just creep up and creep up and creep up. And a person who goes to one match a season, and fair play, they might make the holiday around it. They mightn't go away. They might go to Liverpool, you spend a week, go to a match. I'm happy to pay £300 for a ticket. Yeah, but we're not, because we try and go every week. You know what I mean? You having your one little luxury for your once a season kills us, because we're going to have to pay it every week so you can have your one little day. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't go how hard it is to go, right, we'll put £2 on the adult shirts, the fucking football shirts. We'll put £1 or 50p on every item of food, 50p on every drink, 50p on a programme. Things people have got the option to buy and they can choose not to. The one thing we've got to buy and keeps us going is a match ticket. It's the one thing we need. We need to get the match ticket for us to enjoy ourselves and for us to enjoy, just be us. It's part of our life. It's ingrained into us. Without the match ticket, we lose a bit of ourselves. You lose that part of yourself and you don't know what happens. Football, you've seen, gets people out of depression, gets people out of ruts, it picks people up when they're down, gives you the best moments of your life with the best people in your life, gives you moments you can't buy or explain. And yeah, so in a nutshell, people are going to pay it, and the people who don't want to pay it are the people who go all the time. But effectively, you know, if it goes up, you're going to pay it because you love it. It's something you love. You know what I mean? But we'd rather the club rewarded us than punish us for loving them. You know what I mean? Here's 20 quid off, lad. Thanks for everything you've done. We've seen you've been going for 15 years. Seen you've had a season to for 30 years. Here's a fucking knockoff for you. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to knock them all down. Every ticket in the ground is 40 quid. Well done. Thanks to everyone. But your pie's £1 to you. Your shirt's £1 to you. This is £1 to you. Sound. Well done, Liverpool. Why can't they do it? And there's clubs now who are seemingly taking the piss out of us by freezing theirs. And they've made us look worse, and I thank them for that, because they've made us look like a shower of cunts. Not us, as in us, like Liverpool Football Club. They've made our owners and our structure look like a shower of cunts because they've come out. You've got Guardiola coming out saying how much he knows they need the fans. And that's it, yeah. Fucking the fans are everything. You've seen football during COVID when there was no fans, and it was sad. It was miserable, and it was not something you'd choose to tune into. And I've said before, football has to go full circle where eventually the fans are the be all and end all. The ticket prices come down, the football improves, and it becomes a sellable product again. Because at the minute, you've got more people going to like championship games and that because of the likes of Nova, because you can have a little pint and it's cheaper, and the tickets are cheaper because it's a more enjoyable day. But unfortunately, we're tied down to a club that we fucking absolutely adore, and you couldn't just go and watch another team, could you? I certainly couldn't. Like when people go, "Oh, I've been going to non-league, been going to watch Marine," and that, I'm like, couldn't think of nothing worse of standing and watching a football game that I've got no interest in. And that's the problem with Anfield, is there's too many people doing that in that ground that are coming and they get the photo, say they've been, get the pie, get the drink, and couldn't give a fuck about what the result is. They go home happy anyway. Me get beat, I go home, don't speak to anyone, and don't want to go to work Monday. That's the reality.
It is, and it's a reality that no fan should want to face. But yeah, as I say, hopefully they start getting the message, and you know, at least have discussions with the right people and that to see what can be done. I know we are going to have to wrap up in a minute because I know you've got to shoot, but we've got to just try and get a bit in about United, because it's a massive game for our season, but it's obviously the biggest game in England, one of the biggest games in world football. And yeah, if for once it seems like an actual big game again. It hasn't felt like that for a long time because we've been so much better than them and they haven't been able to touch us. And then this season we're neck and neck. They've obviously got, a bit of not a legend of the club, but they've got certainly a popular figure of the club in charge. He's done a good job for them. They've only lost a few games under him. He's got them in a really good position, and as I say, we're neck and neck, both fighting for the same thing. And we've got to go to Old Trafford and put in a performance like we have done under Klopp, and go there and make a statement. We've got to go. I say under Klopp. Sorry, even under Slot last season, went there and made an absolute show of them. And we've got to go and try and do that again. We've got the players that certainly can do it on paper. We've just got to hope they turn up and put them to the sword.
Yeah, it just, you know what, it's the same as the derby. I said this about the derby, where it becomes just another game, and it's difficult to accept because you're born hating them, and you want it to have a big rivalry, And I say to my dad, like, the last few years, United haven't asked me. It's just another game. Just got to win. And then the game, you get involved and you start feeling sick. But I'm already getting nerves about United. It feels like a big game. It feels like we're actually playing Manchester United again, which is good for football. Fucking hate them. But, if I could go back to a moment where, like, Everton under David Moyes, where they were getting to Wembley and having a little go, and the fucking banter was there, and the derbies felt massive, flying tackles and that, and the same with United. Maybe not the same with United in the sense they were fucking better than us, but if we could have it where there was a proper rivalry and it was neck and neck and they were up there and we were up there, it'd be fucking great. But seeing them fail and seeing them lose is just as equally as enjoyable. It's fucking superb. So it's a catch-22. But yeah, we've got to go there with a real sense of belief that we can beat them. They have made mistakes. They've got a new manager. I think the players have shown that deep down through also the other manager, and they've picked up a little bit. But I think they're in a similar situation to us where their starting 11 wins football matches, but as soon as there's a tweak here and there, it struggles. They haven't got the same quality off the bench that they have when it starts. So we've got to go there aware of that. And I think I've said, even if Salah's injured and he can't do anything, put him on the bench. Just show his names on the bench. I've said it with Isak this season. Just have their game plan changes if Salah's on the bench and they think he could come on. So I think you just need a name like that on your bench just to frighten them a little bit. Just have him walking up and down, just being there if he's injured. But I hope to God he somehow magically recovers so he can play there again. So it'll be fucking sad if he doesn't get to go there. Yeah, probably looking forward to the game. It's going to be a tasty one, and it's a massive game in England, but it's a massive game for the pair of us. We've both got to win. I said a couple of weeks ago, I think we toppled them. I think we end up sneaking third. I still stand by that, but obviously a lot of that is on the match on the weekend. So let's see what will be. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I am. I'm the same as you. I'm nervous because of the way the season's gone and how it shows how far sort of they have fallen in the last 13 years. Is that this is one of the best seasons they've had in recent memory, and it's one of the worst we've had them neck and neck. Like, it just shows kind of the levels of both of them. But no, it's a huge game. Like you said, must win for both teams, and I expect it's going to be more hostile there than it's been in a long time. I expect there to be the odd tackle flying in here and there. Obviously, you're not going to get the level that you used to back in the day where tackles are flying in left, right, and centre. But I'd like to see a few go flying in from both sides. I hope the ref lets it go a bit like he did in the derby. I don't want to, I don't want to see every little tiny minor infraction getting pulled back and the game never really gets going. I want to see the ref let a bit go, realise what's at stake, realise the teams that are playing, how much they fucking hate each other, how much they both want to win, and just let it go a bit, let it just play out how it's meant to. Obviously, if someone fucking drop kicks someone in the face or something, yeah, you might have to throw the odd yellow card out there. But overall, yeah, I'm just hoping for a good game. And as I say, it's gonna be I'm gonna have that feeling on Sunday before the game, sort of like back in the day when we were in fucking Butlands and we were about to play them. And you had Wes Brown scoring the own goal and all that, but you remember that feeling before it, thinking, "Oh, I can't. I just want to get this over with. Like, I don't want to watch it. I don't want to play them and all stuff." It's going to be a bit like that leading up to the game. But like I say, our team on paper is arguably the fucking best in the league, if you ask me, in terms of the names. But it just hasn't turned up, unfortunately. But we've got to show that fight that we have done the last few games. We've got to show that belief, show that bit of identity that you were talking about that is starting to creep through. And if we can and the players are firing on all cylinders, then they won't be able to cope with us.
Yeah, that's it. We just got to turn up, lad. And I say it all the time. Unfortunately, it hasn't stuck a chord with anyone because we haven't turned up enough this season. But yeah, if we turn up and play our way, they're at home. They've got to entertain. I'm happy with us going there and keeping it tight and a bit controlled and letting them have the ball and stuff for a bit. But we've got to be willing to kill ourselves, to counter attack and get a goal and nick a goal. Obviously, I prefer we go there and try and blow them away, get an early goal, let their asses go, shut their crowds up, see a boss away end, and go at them and go for it. But I take any win now, right now. I don't care how we do it. I just want to beat them swats, and it'd be fucking great if we can. I think we've got enough about us to do it. I think obviously it'd be lovely to have Salah in there, but if not, you've got to be brave. You've got to put someone in there who's going to run, who's going to tackle, who's going to help the fullback. And I don't know who it is. So that's the problem we've got. But just Isak starting. I think on, as you say, on paper our team's very exciting, isn't it? So yeah, it'd be good going there with a player like Isak who can get in behind, who can score out or nothing, and you've got that little bit of hope that you've got a goal or two in you. Start well, shut them up, and see how it goes. But just got to be right up for it from the off, and I think obviously our fans will be there. Fans will be. Hopefully our team turns up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, I'd say sure to be a great game. Hopefully we can come away with 3 points and really cement that Champions League place. So yeah, it's obviously this part of the season now. We're only playing once a week, so you're only hearing from us once a week as it is now. So we will be back next week after the United game. Hopefully we can have a very positive episode, as the last couple have been, which has been nice. And until then, up the fucking Reds.
Up the fucking Reds. Come on.